I am God. I am time. The Gospel of John explains that in the beginning, let me just read it for you, okay? I'm reading from the NIV. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So, well, in the beginning was God. God is a word. So let me read this again. In the beginning was the Word. Okay? And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So it's a very interesting, I guess you could call it a magic riddle. I mean, that's kind of how, a lot of the Bible, there's a lot of different places in the Bible, it reads like a magic riddle. I mean, words are magic. That's the thing, right? Spell. How do you spell a word? Yeah? Well, now that I've explained that, it's not something, I've explained this sort of thing so many times. In fact, it's pretty much all I ever talk about. I just felt like mentioning it. Again. I am time. Interesting word, time, isn't it? I mean, you got the word me is in time for a start. I'm me. Right? I am me. And tie is also in there as well, whether you're spelling that T-I or T-I-E. Tie and me are both in the word time. It's a very awkward word for me. People keep trying to use time as a way of keeping me stuck. How do I know that? Well, because of how the YouTube algorithm sends me videos. It sends me videos that are, it could be a couple days, or, it could be 8 days, or it could be weeks or months or years. And it'll have the number, it'll say how long ago that thing happened. And because every number has magic associated with it. And time is a magic word itself, right? And so I keep seeing how time affects how people spells. When people put videos on YouTube, what is that? It's artwork, and it's a spell. It's words, it's art, it's video, it's people having video titles, and then do you know what I mean? Like, people have video titles, you click on them, and you get a whole bunch of dialogue that may or not may, or what I mean. It's all magic. So the thing is, I am time. So at some point in my life, I would have learned how to time things. I would have learned how to count seconds. Thinking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, counting seconds or counting. And this is what's been, it's been a way to trap me. You know what I mean? What's that? That is it's an Omega Seamaster watch. What's the model number on it again? I can't remember. It's a 300-meter depth watch. It cost quite a lot of money, yeah. But anyway, a watch. This has to do with time. See, I'm the Word, okay? And the world keeps trying to bind me. And that's the thing, right? I've also, I've had girlfriends in the past. I've had girlfriends where BDSM was involved, and that would have involved me tying rope or whatever I had, sort of thing. So that's another magic thing to think about. And not to mention, there's also the food, thyme, which is spelled Thyme. It's like a plant leaf, I think. It's a plant, a herb called thyme. And obviously, there would have been a time when someone said, "Hey, look, it's time for dinner," and I would have gone to the dinner table and I would have eaten some food that had thyme in it, like the herb thyme, and I would have eaten it, right? It's not spelt the same as, as in clock time, but it sounds the same. I have to mention it because this is all connected. But the fact is that I am time. Jesus was asked, when is the second coming? When are you coming back? When's the second coming going to be? And Jesus responded to that, saying, basically, what he said was, only my Father knows when that time will be. Yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll have a quick look. I couldn't tell you what verse that was. Let me check. Okay, so Matthew 24:36. Let's have a look. Yeah, Matthew 24:36. But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Yeah. People might ask the question like, well, we know how to count seconds as well. But, we have watches, we have clocks, we know how to count in seconds and minutes and hours and blah de blah de blah. But yeah, no, the thing is because I'm God. And when I was born in this body, and at the time when I learned how to read the time, when I learned how to count, how I learned how to time things. For instance, I might, count, oh, I've got 5 minutes to do something, or I've got, or I've got to cook dinner for, it takes 10 minutes to cook that, or whatever it is, right? That's me doing something. That's me doing an action. Timing. And so my power is associated with that word. And people keep trying to tie me with time magic and stuff like that, right? And, also there's BDSM. Obviously, the crucifix is associated with Sodom and Egypt. That's sodomy and bondage, okay? I mean, it literally says here, but about that day or hour, no one knows. Not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. I mean, that's the thing. It says very, very clearly in the Gospel of John that God was the Word. Right? God is the Word. God is a word. I am out. The thing is that I am the Word. How many words are there? Go open a dictionary. How many words do you find in there? Which language are we talking about? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of words. And I'm connected to all of that. All of the words. I'm connected to all of them in some way or another. I am time. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Jesus says that he does not know. Not even the angels in heaven. Well, this is the thing, because, in a sense, well, what do I really like? BDSM. Yeah, it's tying a rope. Yeah. It's... I want to tie a woman's hands behind her back and get to do what I want to her, sort of thing, right? I mean, for me, that's fun. Let me read this again. But about that day, and this is the other thing as well, because my ex-girlfriend, my last girlfriend, her initials are AB, which is really interesting, isn't it? But about... it's a magic word, about, right? Because, lying demons, what they want to say is that my ex-girlfriend's butt is about. They use that as a magic trick to try to hide me. Because I'm God. Here, look, I'm right here. I'm about. Yeah, I'm not her butthole, right? But that's what demons want to pretend. It's the same with the name Daniel, right? Because my ex-girlfriend, her name was Ania Bilak. Daniel, it's spelled D-N-E-L. E-L means God. A-N-I, it's Ania is spelled A-N-I-A. Annie, is Annie or Annie You heard of Anakin Skywalker, haven't you? He's called Annie. Anyways. D-Aniel. Yeah, I'm magically connected to that name. So it says, but about that day or hour, no one knows. Which is interesting because people like to think that I'm no one. And that's because they keep trying to tie me with binding spells. It says, not even the angels in heaven. Well, there's two words that sound the same, and they both sound like not. And that's what happens when you tie someone. They're in a knot, right? Not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Only the Father. This is the thing. The ghost of Aaliyah is on top of me. She is on the front of my body, as I've explained many times. And that's the thing in the book of Revelation, when it talks about, there will be times and time and half a time, and people say, oh, that's 3.5 years or something, and blah de blah. And people talk about the end times. Well, that's the thing. I am time. That's me. The end, it belongs to me. The but, it belongs to me. Right? This is the thing. The world is obsessed with sodomy. And is obsessed with trying to copy me. It's constantly trying to duplicate me in any way that it can, because it wants to replicate my light and power. And that's, the problem with Adam and Eve. Well, they were trying to be me. And so I told them to fuck off. Do you understand? You're not going to duplicate me. You're not going to try to steal my identity and my power and my throne. You're not going to do that. I mean, I already talked about this before when I talked about Game of Thrones and how people have gaming chairs. I used to play a lot of computer games when I was younger. Yeah, and people come along and say, "Oh, Game of Thrones." All that is it's spell work attempting to steal my throne from me. That's all it ever was. People trying to steal my throne. And they think they can buy themselves a gaming chair and pretend that they're God. It's pathetic. People are crazy. So what this is saying, so only the Father knows the time. That's because I am the time. I literally am the time. I'm the Word. Yeah. Open a dictionary, look at all the words. Yeah, I'm all of them. That's the thing. There isn't a word that I am not. I am every single word. All of them. Do I have to read the Gospel of John again? Shall we read it again? Go on then. People are very forgetful, aren't they? They sure are. Let's try again, shall we? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And the thing is that, in the book of Genesis, it talks about the creation and how God breathes life. I manifest with my words. My power, it gets delivered through words. And this is why time is so powerful. The word time is so powerful, because most people every single day look at the time, don't they? A lot of people wear watches, right? People wear their watch. Well, whose watch? I'm watch. I watch the world. That's the thing. I'm constantly watching the world through the internet, watching videos, and I listen to people say, they talk about me, they mirror me, they mimic me, they say bad stuff about me, they try to paint me as the enemy, and I have to deal with that. I've been dealing with it. It's been very hard watching it all. It's been very unpleasant. And people keep using spells and witchcraft, or sorcery, whatever you want to call it. They keep using these things to try to bind me, to keep me stuck. And if I'm bound and I'm stuck, then the word time really applies to me, doesn't it? I mean, maybe you might want to call it tie you or tie God. It's time. That's what it's called. Time. Timey, timey, timey. And if you're still not convinced of what I'm talking about, well, what's a clock and what's a cock then? Right? So you got cock, you got lock, and you got cock. Oh clock, oh cock. Oh, what's the time? Is it 14 minutes, or it's 15 minutes past, almost 15, 15 minutes past 1. Yeah. Yeah. 1 o'clock plus 15 minutes. There you go. Okay. The thing is that people keep copying me. I suppose time is a very common thing, isn't it? People time things all the time, right? Time gets used a lot. Oh, it's time for dinner. Oh, it's time for a break. I've got half an hour. Oh, I better time it. You know what I mean? But the fact is, my power gets delivered through that because it's what I do. I'm here. I'm on planet Earth. And when I tell people, guess what? They don't believe it. They don't care. What time is it? Oh, I haven't got enough time for this. I haven't got time for this bullshit. I'm out of here. Yeah, that's what people are like, right? They probably watch the first 10 seconds of my video and they say, I ain't got time for this bullshit. I'm going. Bye-bye. Well, you're right. You don't have time. I'm time. You don't have me. Bye-bye. Laters. It was interesting because Jesus said, but about that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, but only my Father. I mean, but gets mentioned there, right? But. And, angels in heaven, woman, a beautiful woman, quite often, men will be like, oh, she's such an angel, look at her. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Angel can be, angel's supposed to be messenger. And obviously, angels are depicted as, having wings, like Archangel Michael. As an example. The crucifixion of Jesus, that was me. I was Jesus. The crucifixion is associated with Sodom and Egypt. Why? Well, the world has an illness, right? The world is evil and does evil things. That's what led to my crucifixion when I was Jesus. I was crucified. People have evil desires. And they will fight me. They fight me because they want what they want. And that thing that they want, it's mine. That's what belongs to me. Not them. It's for me. I guess some people, they'll be like, oh, why does God get to do sodomy and BDSM? I mean, the fact is that people would copy me whatever I did anyway. They would just try to mirror me. It's copy, 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 copy. Because it's about getting my power. Look at, when people worship the moon, right? You know the moon, and then there's the sun, right? People worship the moon like it's the sun, don't they? Do they not? But the moon does not emit light. It's the sun that emits the light. You're worshipping a reflection of the light. And the world, all it wants to do is reflect my light. And for a long time, all I see is a world reflecting back at me my light. It tries to reflect me, but it's not me. It's their shit attempt at trying to reflect me, trying to imitate me, whilst simultaneously hating me and trying to hurt me. I mean, even think, I used to play racing games sometimes, not very often, but sometimes. There's a racing mode. It's called Time Trial. Yeah, Time Trial. Isn't that an interesting combination of words? I mean, if you were going to take someone to court because, say, they committed some crimes, right? I'm God, I want to take you to court. We're going to have you judged because I think you're a criminal. I think you're a sinner. I think you deserve to go to hell. It's time for a trial. Yeah, I'm taking you for a trial. Taking you to court. Yeah, time trial. Oh, get in your car. Off for a race. What more can I say for this video? I mean, like I said, I am the Word. I mean, who was King David? Right? King David. Who is he? He was mentioned in the Old Testament. Yeah, he was a king of Israel. He was celebrated by a lot of people, and still is, when he even shouldn't be, because he's evil. Well, it's daytime. I've got the blinds shut. There's sunlight outside. Yeah, I mean, I've got my desk. I've got a lamp on over there, but there is light outside. I'm recording this during the day. This is a day video, right? David. Interesting name, right? And who was his son called? Oh, right, Solomon. King Solo. Well, I'm King Solo. Yeah. I don't see anyone else around here. I guess I must be King Solo then. It's interesting about King Solomon. Yeah. See, I had a very evil mum, right? This was her house. She died in 2021. She died the 24th of July, which is, that's 24/7, right? Interesting numbers, right? Yeah. She was 57 years old. She was born on the 7th of May. That's 5/7 or 7/5, however you look at it. Strange numbers. Her name was Fiona. She was called Fee. Obviously, I'm male, and I was the son of Fee. And obviously the world wants to try to pretend I'm female, that I'm a woman. Well, I'm not a woman. I'm a man. I'm God, man. And yes, I have dressed in drag before. Yes, I have. There's a picture on my Facebook profile. That's right. I did that for my mum's birthday. Yeah, I think it was her 40th birthday. And I was 16 years old. Yeah. It was requested of me. It wasn't like I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll just dress in drag because I feel like it. No, I was surrounded. I had a girlfriend. I lost my virginity at the time, and I was surrounded by girls at the time, a couple of girls. And there was a fancy dress party happening for my mum's 40th birthday, and I dressed in drag. Doesn't mean I'm a woman, alright? I'm the son of Fee. And really, well, I created, well, that's the thing. I'm the creator. I'm God. But you see, if you ever heard of Sophia, Sophia is the word. It means wisdom. Or wisdom is, Sophia is, I think it might be Greek. Yeah, it means wisdom. And, you know, in Gnosticism, people try to make out that Sophia is like some demigod or some shit like that. You know what shit is, right? It's feces. Feces, that's right. And depending on how you spell it, if you spell it Faeces, then the word faces is in feces as well. Yeah, shit faces. Yeah, weird that. But anyway. Well, what was it that King Solomon wanted? He wanted wisdom, didn't he? He asked God, he asked me for wisdom. Alright? Interesting that, isn't it? The wisdom of Solomon. That's the thing. I'm King Solo. And in a sense, I'm King Day Video. You know, I'm making a video right now. During the daytime. I am the Word. If you think what I'm saying is crazy, then explain what it says in the book of John, in the Gospel of John. It says that God was the Word. The Word is central. You know, that means that God is all language. Do you understand? That's the magic of what John wrote. God is language. You know, God's power is through language. Because think about it. I mean, before man could talk, what did he have? Did he have movies? Did he have music? Did he have art? Did he have... Well, he might have had some art, I suppose. You know, paintings on cave walls and shit like that. Maybe, yeah, perhaps. Yeah, what came first, art or language? I don't know. But I mean, at the end of the day, art is a word, right? You know, you can look at anything, right? Just look what's around you. Just look at, see everything you look at, see the word. The word's everywhere, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, this is a word. This is a word. You know, or, you know, it's associated, there are many words associated with every object. Everything can be described in words. And let's not forget, think about this, right? So if I go back to what it said in Matthew, okay? So what was it? Matthew 24:36? Let's have a look. Yeah. So it says here, but about that day or hour no one knows. So we're talking about time, timey, right? So what is, if you turn, because obviously my butt is what's behind me. It's the reverse side of me, isn't it? If I turn around, if I reversed my body, so you're looking at the back of me, you'd be looking at my back or potentially my butt, right? So the word time, if you turn that word around, you get the word emit. And emit is, let's get the dictionary definition of emit, shall we? E-M-I-T. Okay, so what it says here, to give or send out matter or energy. To give out as sound, utter, to voice, express. And obviously, you know, the sun, the light of the world, well, that light, it is emitted. And this is why the word time is so important, because this is all connected. So, and this all connects with sex magic as well, because, you know, the butt is called the moon. You know, it looks like a star. And obviously the sun is a star, right? And people want to do bondage, which is timey, you know, tie my hands behind my back kind of thing, you know. You know, it's what people find exciting, isn't it? It's what I find exciting. It's fun. And obviously stars emit light, you know, and emit is the reverse of time. So, you know, all of it's all connected together. It's all yeah, it's I am time and I am emit. I am God. So, what more can I say? I mean, so that's the other thing as well, wasn't it? Because Paul, he had a son. It was actually his son. What's his son? Timothy. Timothy was the son of Paul. I guess an easy, you know, a short way of saying Tim or Timothy, you would say Timmy. Timmy. Yeah. Which sounds very, you know, it's similar to the word time. Tim is in the word time. Yeah. I don't like Paul. And I doubt I like Timothy either, to be quite honest. I've already talked about that before. So, I've mentioned it in other videos, so I'm not gonna do it all again. Not in this video. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? Pi is in numbers as well, you know, like you got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you know, like the 60 seconds. You know, the number 40 is relevant, isn't it? I mean, you know, 40 years in the wilderness. The Israelites were in the wilderness for 40 years. Jesus was fasted 40 days. Yeah, the number 40 is you know, it's mentioned quite a few times in the scriptures. And I've mentioned why the number 4 is you know, I've explained how it's connected with the tarot deck and how the 4th card, the number 4 card of the tarot major arcana, is the Emperor card. And it's important because, you know, there are 4 elements. There are 4 suits. You know, it's you know, whether, you know, 4 elements, you know, that's earth, air, fire, and water. In the suits, that's you've got pentacles, swords, wands, and cups. And then there are the court cards. They're called the court cards, but you know, it's they're supposed to be like the royal cards, basically. You know, there's the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings. There's 4 of each of them. So that, you know, gives a total of 16 court cards. Which is interesting because, you know, what's the 16th card of the major arcana? Well, it's the Tower card, right? Which is interesting, right? I don't know, have you ever been to the Tower of London? I've been there. I went there when I was a kid on a school trip. In fact, I might even still have some photos of when I was there when I was a kid. But yeah, the Tower. I mean, that's to do, you know, it's connected with destruction, and it's also it's connected with the phallus, because a phallus is shaped like a tower, right? The penis. And the card, you know, the Tower card, it shows a bolt of lightning coming down. It hits the roof of the tower, and the roof of the tower, it almost looks like a crown or something. And there's these people falling out of it, and they fall to their deaths. And you know, I could talk about Big Ben. You know, it's a big clock tower, right? Obviously, you know, Big Ben's this gigantic clock tower in London, right? And the word cock is in clock, right? And what color is it? It's gold, right? You know, it looks like golden. It's like got a golden color to it, doesn't it? Last time I checked. Let me have a look. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Okay. So, you know, it has a golden appearance to it, which is an interesting color choice, because, well, God is in the word gold, and the golden phallus is associated with sodomy, and obviously Egypt is associated with bondage, and bondage is associated with, well, time, because tie is in the word time, and it's right next to Westminster, the Houses of Parliament, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Fairly certain it is. Yeah. So, and that's the thing, right? What did God say about the Tower of Babel? These people were trying to build a tower. They were their language. It was talked about. Their language was spoken about. They all had a common language, and they all had a common goal in mind: building a tower to heaven, right? Using their language as a way to attack God, me, and try to get to heaven through witchcraft, magic, sorcery. That's what it was about. I mean, go watch Sky News at 10. Go on YouTube and type in Sky News at 10. And they'll have a big picture of Big Ben. Yeah, the word sky is right next to Big Ben. They're blending the word sky with a picture of a golden clock tower. That is witchcraft. That is essentially, I warned people, the people who, the story about the Tower of Babel, it's, Sky News at 10 is exactly the same idea, right? And then people wonder why there's wars happening, and why people are, why so many bad things are happening. Why is there so much bad news? Why? Why is that? Because I'm God and I'm punishing the world for being evil. It's just really that simple. People keep doing witchcraft and sorcery and word magic. Sky News, the Sky Broadcasting Company, that was owned or is owned by Rupert Murdoch. He doesn't own the sky. I do. I'm God. I am the sky. He's even got Sky Business. It's like, no. Sky Business, that's me. Yeah? Sky Business, that's my business, not yours. I mean, it's the same on, on YouTube. There's a channel called, there's an Ethiopian woman. She's got a YouTube channel, and it's called Light, and it's got the TM next to it, meaning trademarked. Oh, so she's trademarked Light, has she? Oh, and there's the guy, he's got the Elect of the Living God, aka Judah, trademarked. You know what I mean? Why doesn't someone just open a channel, call it God's Throne in Heaven, trademarked? Yeah, why don't you try that as well? Yeah, if you want to burn in hell, go ahead. Try it. I mean, it's like that video I just posted on Facebook. It's from a channel called The AI Bible. What kind of stupid channel name? So you're basically equating artificial intelligence with the Holy Scriptures. You're saying artificial intelligence is the Bible. because you've literally called your channel The AI Bible, right? You've put the words the AI before the word Bible. And the video, it's about God's throne in heaven. Like someone really needed to make a video depicting that. Was it really that necessary? Did people really need to watch it? You know, you think about those people from 50 years ago, or 100 years ago, or 500 years ago. Did they need AI videos to get saved? Did they need AI videos showing them some, you know, computer interpretation of what heaven looks like and what God's throne looks like? Did they need that? Were people from hundreds of years ago, were they better behaved? Were they more loving people than the people of today? Yeah, probably. They probably valued me more than people do today. See, people today, they got everything they want, don't they? They got their sex, they got their rock and roll, they got their all the stuff they want, yeah? Drugs, condoms, parties, friends, social media, movies, games, music. They got all that shit to fill their heads with. Yeah. The worshipping of false idols, television, all that junk. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? You know, because a watch, you know, this is an analog watch. It's got 12 hours on it. You know, it has a 12-hour dial. The house I live in, number 12. What's the 12th card of the major arcana? Well, the number 12 card is the Hanged Man. It's a man who's hung upside down. He's hung by his foot. And he's upside down. He's called the Hanged Man. I mean, the number 12 is, you know, I mean, obviously there were 12 tribes of Israel. You know, the 12 disciples. The 12 apostles. So yeah, I mean, you might argue, oh, it was 13 or something like that, or whatever, right? But 12 is really the number that was used. I mean, it's the same with, you know, astrology. You could say, well, there were 12 signs, and there's like, oh no, there's actually 13, because you are forgetting Ophiuchus, you know, the serpent bearer. Yeah. Strange that, isn't it? And the thing is that I'm a Scorpio. I'm associated with the 13th card, which is death. You know, the Grim Reaper. Which makes sense, because I didn't come back here just to forgive people, did I? I came here to judge people and to do what I need to do. So, have I explained the fact that I am time well enough? I mean, what did people, you know, people, when I say the word time, people usually think, oh, well, that's, you know, that's a number on the clock. But time also means, Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's get the dictionary definition. If I'll go to the Cambridge. Ooh, yeah, this is quite a long one. Yeah. Ooh, hang on. Because it's got it as a noun, and obviously there's a verb, isn't there? I mean, that's another thing, right? Time's up, right? When's the second coming of Jesus Christ? When does God, when's he going to return? People call it the end times or the end time, right? Well, if time has ended, then time's up, right? Time is up. Well, who's up? Who's above all? God, right? Where's God's throne? In heaven, right? I mean, okay, I'm sitting in a chair. I'm on planet Earth. But the fact is that my butt is my throne and the universe is connected to it. Heaven and earth is connected to me. I'm where it's all at, right? It's all connected to me. So time's up. There are no more minutes, hours, etc. available. Time's up. Yes, a really long list. This surprise. It's very verb. Time, verb. Okay. To decide that something will happen at a particular time. Example, we timed our trip to coincide with my cousin's wedding. I hate my cousin. I've got two cousins, actually. I hate both of them. Here's another example. To arrange something so that it happens at the best possible time. And then time, verb, measure. To measure how long it takes for something to happen or for someone to do something. Example being, will you time me to see how long it takes me to swim a length? Of a swimming pool, right? Time. And that's the thing. I am time. I mean, if you know anything about, I suppose it's Greek mythology. There were two false gods that were mentioned, right? There was Cronus. And there were two of them. They were both called. They were very similar names, and one of them is the god of time. And Cronus is another word for Saturn. Yeah, Cronus is associated with Saturn. So let me just search that actually. God of time. What does it say here? Okay, so there's Chronos, which is spelled Chronos. It says, is the Greek personification of time, often depicted as an old man with a beard, symbolizing the relentless passage of time. He is sometimes confused with Cronus, which is spelled Cronus, who is the Titan associated with harvest and time as a destructive force. Fascinating, that, isn't it? So you've got Kronos, and Cronus. Very, very similar names. And they both have connections with time. I mean, obviously, you get chronograph watches. Why, yeah, I mean, it's, and that's the thing, right? Cronus says, the Titan, the Titan associated with harvest and time as a destructive force. So he's associated with Saturn. He was the one who he ate his children. That was the story. The story was about him. He was the one who ate his children. That's what he did, right? And obviously Saturn, well, obviously the butt is what people sit on, right? I'm sat on my butt, right? So Saturn, it's connected with the idea of sodomy. It's the same with Satan. It's Sat-anus. It's what it implies. It's talking about sodomy. I mean, not to mention the word Titan, right? Tight anus. Yeah. That's another thing it's connected with. Yeah. I mean, those are false gods. Lots of false gods. There is only one God, me. There are no other gods. There are invented stories. There are lots of invented stories, whether it's, Kronos or Cronus or Zeus or Thor or there's loads of them, right? There's so many of them. I mean, you could even talk about Spider-Man or Iron Man or the Hulk or Batman or, all those stories. They're all, those are all symbols of worship. They're all false gods, inventions of man. The fact is that they mirror me in certain ways. In fact, that's the thing. Art art reflects me in some way or another. It always reflects some aspect of me. There might be, 10% of it is true and 90% of it could be false, or it could be, 50% true and 50% false. There's always, this is why, people have an obsession with these things. It's about trying to capture my reflection in art and to create that art piece, whether it's a story or it's music or it's a movie or whatever, right? Or a story. It's all about trying to capture my essence in a story. For the sake of power. So, yeah. I mean, I talked about earlier the game Skyrim, and how, you know, people had a massive obsession with that game. I did, actually, when it came out, but and the thing is, you know, people want to have, there are all these people who play Skyrim and they want to mod Skyrim. You know, they want to modify Skyrim to their liking and all this kind of stuff. You know, people, you know, the Ten Commandments, right? People were told not to depict celestial beings. So if you have a game called Skyrim, or you've got a, you've got the Sky satellite at home, or something, Sky Internet, or Sky, even if, the internet itself, right? People talk about the cloud, right? The main character in the trailer, there's the character called Dovahkiin, right? You notice how his name it's spelled something like Dovakiin. It's something like that. There might have been an H. It may be Ahkiin. But basically, his name's like Dove. Dove is the bird that represents the Holy Spirit. But you know what he's called? He's called Dragonborn, right? He's called Dragonborn, and he fights the dragon. But he fights the dragon. You see, that's the thing. My mum, who's dead, right? She was essentially the dragon, right? You can look at it like that, right? I was born from an evil, demonic, witch, dragon woman, okay? And she gave birth to me, right? I'm Dragonborn, right? And I smoke, right? I'm a smoker. It's a very dragon-like thing to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Dragonborn. Dovahkiin. What's Dovahkiin's special power? It's his words, right? He gets attacked by the dragon and he shouts back. He shouts his words at the dragon, and the dragon's like, whoa, like the dragon just can't handle his words. It's just like, yeah, it's because, it's a representation of me, God. That's what it is. Not to mention, he wears a helmet with like what looks like ram's horns, right? They're pointed down, like as if they're ram's horns. Do you know what I mean? What's a ram? Well, a ram is a lamb. It's a sheep, isn't it? And he slays dragons. See, people don't notice these things, do they? They think God's some kind of joke, and then they just sit around playing games like Skyrim all day long, thinking they're God. So, this watch I've got, it's an Omega watch. Don't know if you can see that very well. I am the first and the last. I am the Alpha and the Omega. Right? That's why I bought this watch. That's why I paid £5,600 for it. Or something like that. Yeah. That's why I paid so much for it, because I wanted the name Omega on it. Because, why is a watch called Omega so expensive and such a premium product that people are prepared to pay a lot of money for? Because words are magic, and people like to pretend they're me. So, So, quick tarot reading.